There's seasons in, I think, all walks of life, whether you're a farmer, whether you're a lawyer. There's times when you're planning, and then you're preparing, and then you're nurturing, and then you're harvesting. That's something that we all do. Freedom Farms began in 1991, and it's evolved from being just a competition barn to being a natural competition barn. Our address is Port Angeles, Washington. We're halfway between Port Angeles and Sequim, and we're in a really beautiful place. We board, we train, we still are a competition barn, but we put a lot of natural horsemanship into our riders. Our riders don't have to be competition riders. They can just be horse lovers and get super instruction, become really sophisticated, really competent riders in more than one way. Not only do they ride well, but they understand the psychology of the horse, more psychology than what a normal barn would be able to offer. Freedom Farms has this way of helping people realize that there is that connection, and we kind of giggle now when people come and they're all like, I got to do this, I got to do that, and I got to do this. Over time, they just let go of it. They come and they say, oh, your horses, they're all so calm and happy and kind, and you really notice it and you really feel it when you get on the place. After a period of time, those people start to relax. They start to see things differently, feel that getting back to nature and what a relief that is to be rid of that barrier. That just starts happening when they come. And they come longer and longer, and we don't really do anything anymore. We just kind of watch and smile, and yeah, it's going to change you. It's going to change you. The horse is going to change you. The place is going to change you. It's cool to watch people change like that. They start to get more involved in the grooming and the communication, and they start to see it, and they start to see it in the herds, and they start to understand it a little bit, and then they watch other people and how they communicate with their horses, and they start to imitate it, and it's a good example. They learn from everybody here. Then they become the teachers for the new people that are coming in, along with Jess and myself. The more we're in the moment, the more we can understand what our horses are doing, or how our horses are thinking, because they're in the moment all the time. That's a hard thing to do, because in the normal world, you're blocking things out all the time. And in this world, you have to be sensitive to those changes that make you interested. That's why it's so much fun, after 40 some years of doing this, I can still go out to the barn and just have a ball. The horses are such social animals. They're so in tune to other horses socially, and people don't quite get that. At the end of the day, it's the lifestyle that they're living that really makes the difference in our training. Being out in the herd, playing with their buddies, moving all the time, that's super important. That really decreases the stress level when he's in the human world. He has an outlet. The hierarchy in the herd is something that he wants to mess with all the time. Just get out and play with his buddies and see where his game is today and where's his buddy's game. That's a good stress release, and it's good for their emotional fitness. The movement that it takes to do all that is just key to what they can handle in the human world, which, is the competition and some of the repetitive things that they're asked to do that they might not do out there playing with their buddies. They're not going to go out there and do piaffe and passage for 15 minutes. That stress of the way we organize the horse's movement can be kind of offset by all the other movement that they do with their buddies. Our training is very much connected to how they live naturally. We use the horse's herd instinct to support some of the training concepts that we're trying to teach. The horses at Freedom Farm are all barefoot, and we believe that the connection to the ground is an advantage to their health and their performance. The footing that the horse travels on changes all the time, and the horse's hoof is adaptable to all different types of terrain and all different types of footing and all different types of weather. So we condition on a lot of different surfaces, and I think that is an advantage for us. We work really hard instructing our students how to care for their own horses. I had this belief that horses had to have shoes to jump. When we started to take the shoes off our horses and we started to learn about doing barefoot, we also got a little smarter about the overall health of the horse. And then riding the barefoot horse just felt so good. They're just so light. And I really feel that the barefoot horse is an advantage in the competition world because he does have such a good connection to the ground. Living a natural lifestyle for us is about being barefoot and about eating non-processed food as much as possible. So growing our own hay and offering organically grown hay to our horses is really important. At the end of the season, when we're done haying, we have all of our hay analyzed. We have several different cuttings. We have a first cutting orchard grass, a second cutting orchard grass, native grass, and then we have a nutritionist that balances our supplement to our hay, and that's what we feed our horses. So, yeah. We try to have it all connected, the lifestyle and the care, the conditioning. We try to connect it all as naturally as possible. And we try to be responsible for maintaining that throughout our horse's life. We really want to have a long, long partnership with our horse. Relationship is a point that everybody has to work on. And we're all at a different level in our relationship with our horse. You've got to work at that. That's when you're really thinking about what's going to spark my horse's interest. How can I spend time with my horse and get my horse interested in and me hang out with him instead of him hanging out with me? There's a period of observing from the ground. It slows things down. When he's being a little stuck to the ground and his feet aren't moving well, then I'll just slow things down until we get the mind and the feel and the feet all working synchronized together. When you grow up in this kind of environment where the horses are in herds and we're always, playing with our relationship because we are taking them away from their buddies, massaging them and talking to them and taking them for little private walks, and the horses, dig it because they're such social animals. So I'm going to try to direct his nose away from me. So there's my guide, and he understood it. There's my drift. Let the rope go. Do it again. And back. There it is. Standing and being really still is a great way to bond. That's just the first thing that I do when I work with a horse, is I try to get in that place where I could just hang out. And that in itself makes the relationship better. It takes the focus off the agenda
and on to this is about you and me, doing this together, and we don't have a time frame. And then from there, it just kind of grows. You're putting in some time paying into relationship bank all the time. You can't cheat it because you're going to want to draw on it sometime. The groundwork makes it easier to get your training kind of programmed exactly for your horse. When you're on the horse, you're thinking fast, it's instinctual. When you're on the ground, the horse has a little more opportunity to go through whatever he's expressing. And as you observe that, you can make maybe a better decision how you would interpret it riding. The difference between a horse being fresh and a horse that's spooking mentally is really, really different. And on the ground, you can address them differently, effectively. Just going out to the field and drawing him off of his friends and getting him to come hang out with you, and then blow his mind by standing there and scratching him, give him a cookie, and then leave. It blows their mind. Like, wait a minute, that was it? It was that easy? That's what they got to see. They got to see how easy it really is. And that's what we got to get really good at showing them. In the balanced performance, you're so close to the horse and the horse is so close to you that you're not getting in the horse's way. He's understanding your thought. There's very minimal aids. You're really one with the horse. They're so close to being one there that it's seamless. Sometimes you need that horse to be able to just hang in there for you in some tricky situations where some things just aren't going perfect, and that's when that time that you spent in your relationship is going to pay off. For whatever reason, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to walk in the arena and perform. The horses feel that pressure. And then, they get a little bit tighter, and if they're already tight, if they're a tight horse anyway, and you get a little bit worried like that, then it's not in your favor. You really have to walk into the arena relaxed.
It's got to be related to this point here. Your shoulder blades are here, and your elbows are here, and you can work this line. You want to be super careful that you're letting your horse reach for the bit, and the connection to the bit is back here in the shoulder blade.
Going to the horse show is really about our relationship. And, where are we in our training and our relationship? And the horse show provides kind of the working ground for me. So I go to the horse show and I try to put this relationship first in the context of the competition.
He's got to feel the relationship all the time. And so you do these other things that you sometimes don't think you have time for, that are the really cool things that make the relationship better. So it's not going out there and up, down, can or jump that makes the relationship better. It's all the cool things that you do in between. And then out there, it's not such a big deal. You're actually just loping around having a good old time. Because all the hard work got done other places that didn't really seem like you were working at all. When I'm working with my horse on the ground, things will pop in that are going to be useful later on, and I'll try to remember them, especially when I'm doing groundwork before I ride, because the horse will be telling me right away what he's ready for. He's a little bit slow, a little bit stiff, he's a little bit more playful, a little more energetic. It will totally affect what I do with them. I like to find little ways to give my horse comfort, other than just softening my rein or saying good girl. So when I think she's done a good job and we've completed our course and we're getting ready to leave, I like to loosen my girth a hole. Just another way to give her that comfort so that when she's in the arena, it feels good. Like when she goes in there, she goes, oh yeah, it's a little bit of work, but all the benefits are worth it.